Hello, my friends. It's Nick, the ASMR nerd. And today I've got some really fun stuff for you. It's some keyboard stuff, but also some Pokemon stuff, combining two of my very favorite things. And I've actually had these here for a little while, and I've been really eager to show them to you, so I'm excited to show them to you today. So first of all, what the heck is in front of us here? This might look weird from your angle, but all will be made clear in just a moment. We have here some keycaps. These are the caps that literally sit on top of the switches on a mechanical keyboard, the things that you touch with your fingers. But these are no ordinary keycaps. Most keycaps you're probably used to have letters or numbers and such on them. They are very utilitarian. But these keycaps, these are what we call Artisan keycaps, which means they are fancy. They are very, very fancy, actually. These keycaps today were provided by Mozano, who is sponsoring this video. I've actually done a video with them before. You might remember it. They provided some other very fancy and beautiful keycaps and switches that I did a mechanical keyboard build with, but these keycaps absolutely take the cake. So, Artisan keycaps, what's the deal? Let me take one of these and give you a closer look. So, typically, an Artisan keycap is just any keycap that's had some handcrafted artistry put into it. And that is exactly what we have here. A common format for these types of keycaps is this resin style of keycap where we have, there you go, that really shows you what I mean by a keycap. We have a solid base which attaches to the switch, and then we have this clear resin upper part of the switch in which is embedded some fun little miniature thing, and they run the gamut. You can find all kinds of cool Artisan keycaps with all kinds of stuff inside, but of course these ones are Pokemon themed. And so what we have in here is a little Pikachu, and I believe that these keycaps are hand painted, so the teensy weensy little Pokemon inside them are painted by hand, and the little scene that they occupy there. I believe this is the case because if you actually look at the ones on Mozano's website, you'll see a fair bit of variation in them, and mine that I have here actually look a bit different than the ones on their website. So I believe these are hand-painted little models embedded in the resin keycap. Now, this frame that you see and this plastic are just the way that Mozano ships them. But the keycap itself is just this little thing right here. And I freaking love these. I've taken a look at all four that I have here, and they're all so much fun. But we will, of course, take a very close look at each of them here so that you can see them. And then I will be putting them on a keyboard, also provided by Mozano. And this keyboard I'm going to be building with them. It's actually kind of interesting too. It's a beginner keyboard kit, a budget-oriented kit called the CIY Tester-68, and it's really inexpensive. It's about $40 for a wireless, hot swappable 65% keyboard. We'll take a closer look at that shortly. But that's really cheap. That's really inexpensive. for what it is. So we'll see how it performs. But for now, let's take a closer look at these Pokemon keycaps. So let's start over here with Pokemon number 1. This is Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur. Look at him hanging out in there. He's got his vine whip going on. He's got little mushrooms. But we'll take it out of its little frame there. And Mozano very kindly provides these, which I think are basically like little finger covers that you can use to handle the resin keycaps without smudging them up, which is kind of ironic when you think about it, because they go on a keyboard. They're literally designed to be touched. But, you know, you want to keep them nice while you're building your keyboard. So let's do it like we're supposed to. And let's also provide a little microfiber cloth for polishing them. Very thoughtful, Mozano. That'll do. So they are in these little frames. They are just held in there with like cling wrap, basically. And we have a little bit here where it says push. So we shall push. And there we are. So let's take out our little Bulbasaur. Put the frame aside. So, you can see here, these keycaps on the bottom have a Cherry MX style stem socket there with that, you know, characteristic plus shape. They should fit on any MX compatible switches. And you can also see they have some holes in the base to allow light to shine through, presumably, and illuminate the upper portion of this resin keycap. These particular caps are designed such that we have this little Game Boy themed base, which I love. We've got the A and B buttons, a little start and select, and the D-pad, of course. Little speaker grills and power light around the side. We got a little Pokeball on the back of the base. And we've got a couple more little doodads. Just fun little doodads around the side there. But of course the main event, the focal point, is our little Bulbasaur in there. You can see the details actually really incredible. They've painted little spots on his head. They've painted his eyes. It might be hard to appreciate because I'm holding this so close to the camera and it looks relatively big to you, but it's pretty tiny. I mean, like, you can see the size of my fingers relative to. And it's a single keycap, right? So he's got his little vines doing a vine whip move, circling all the way around them. They've been painted in 2 tones of green. And his base has actually been flocked with a little bit of fake grass, like you can see. There's some fake grass in there. They call that flock in modeling terms. And it looks great. And then, of course, he's got his little bulb on his back there in 2 tones. And some mushrooms in there, which look really good as well, and are very finely painted, like super fine detail. He looks slightly crazed from this angle, doesn't he? Slightly crazed. But that's one of the things, of course. This keycap, as you might notice, is very tall. This is what they call SA profile. So it's a kind of a retro profile, and many Artisan keycaps you find will be in this profile because it allows more space for the model, because it's a very full profile. And it's a spherical profile, so it's got these curved edges and a slightly scooped top to it. They feel really nice. It's a fun profile. It's got those slightly retro vibes, and like I said, it allows a lot of space to work in for the little model. And so, yeah, many artisanal caps you find will be of this profile. Now, you can of course use SA caps with other profiles of keycaps, and they're going to look just great still. They'll stick out a little bit, but I think they'll still look fine. So you could pair your SA Artisans with, say, OEM style keycaps. They might look a little weird with lower profiles, like a cherry profile, or like a DSA. They probably look maybe a little too tall to fit in, but certainly with OEM profile, MT3, you can probably even get away with XDA, and SA. Any of those taller profiles will look great with these. Today, I'm going to be pairing them with XDA profile caps, but I do have other plans for these Pokemon caps, these artisanal SA profile caps, plans that do involve an SA profile set, and I'll talk about that maybe towards the end of the video, a little teaser there for you, but you'll see more of these in an upcoming video. I have a plan. Anyway, there's our little Bulbasaur. I think he looks amazing. Freaking love it. So we'll put that there for now. Next Pokemon up. Pokemon number 4 in the decks. The Kanto decks, and I guess the national decks as well. And this one's a little stiffer. There we go. Pokemon number 4. Charmander. Our base is colored a bit differently, and I love the contrast between the red Charmander and the blue base there. I think it looks great. Once again, all the little Game Boy details. The keycaps themselves are flawless, like in terms of the finish. They are really nice. I don't see any scuff marks or scratches or fogginess or anything. Really clear, really nice. And of course we've got our little Charmander inside, and he's got a bunch of fire going on around him. He's got flames. You can see he has his characteristic little tail, which does have a little flame on the end. There it is, you can see. He's kind of looking up at the top of the keycap. Isn't he cute? Char char. But yeah, he's got fire all around there. And once again, really finely painted. The details are incredible. You can see those flames with the yellow highlights on top, orange and red below. And Charmander's little eyes, look at them. He is so cute. What a cute little guy. And once again, those holes in the bottom to allow some light to come through. So there is our Charmander. I feel like this little thing is starting to cut off. Cut off. I don't really need them to be all the way down, because like I'm only using the tip. Just the tip. Okay, that's a little better. Alright. Next up, you know who we've got. You can tell from the colors and the theme here. We've got Squirtle, Pokemon number 7 in the Kanto decks. And we've got this lovely blue theme going on here. And look, check it out. He's hanging out with a bunch of rubber duckies. Or should I say rubber ducklets? Except if they were ducklets, they would be blue, I guess. guess, but the yellow is a really nice contrast on these rubber duckies. It looks great with all the water going on there. The water, once again, really fine detailing on there. You can see Squirtle there. Oh, he's got a little life preserver behind him. He's on a surfboard. I just realized he's on a surfboard, you guys. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's totally on a surfboard. That's adorable. You can see the detailing on his shell painted there. It's got the white rim there. Very impressive. Very fine. That life preserver behind him. Not that he needs it, you know, as a water Pokemon. I think he's probably okay in the water. You can see his cute little face in there. There he is, just looking up a little bit. I like that they're looking up slightly because it means when you look from the top, you can kind of see their face. You can see the eyes there. Of course, because these are in resin and, you know, it's slightly curved, you do get a bit of distortion depending on the angle you're looking at. You know, a bit of warping in just the refraction, but that's obviously physics. It's inevitable. But they look great from the side and from the top. Once again, some shine through holes in the bottom there. And overall, I think this might be my favorite yet because I love those little rubber duckies. Look at them. They're great. They're so good. So we've got our 3 starters here. And comment down below who your favorite starter is. Start some fights in the comments there. Who was your favorite, or first, I should say, starter ever, you guys? For many of you, it's probably not one of these guys, because you probably started on a later gen, but I'm old. I'm OG. I'm Gen 1er. And so, these were my first Pokemon ever. My very first Pokemon ever was Squirtle. Squirtle was my very first Pokemon I ever chose. In subsequent playthroughs, I usually picked Charmander. But Squirtle will forever be my OG, my best bro. Squirtle Squad for life. Alright. And the last, but not least, of course, you already sort of saw through the plastic there, but there we go. It is, of course, everybody's favorite Pikachu, brand mascot Pikachu, who has a couple of thunderbolts, one on either side of him there, and Pokeballs on the ground right next to him. And I guess he's just on sort of a plant. Looks like there's some leaves in the background there. But we've got this lovely green base for Pikachu. And once again, the paint quality is excellent. Like really fine detailing. And really nicely presented all together. It's really easy to screw up this kind of thing when you're painting stuff that's so tiny, so that they don't end up looking so cute. Instead, they end up looking a little wrong, like slightly disturbing. But they nailed it with Pikachu here. They got his eyes looking just right, even with the pupils or the shine in them there. He looks very cute. Awesome. So, those are our 4 keycaps, and I'm just going to put them in my hand here and put them all together so you can see them all together. Now, of course, these are 4 Pokemon that I chose because they're classics, but Mozano sells like 30 different Pokemon. They got tons. They got a lot of Gen 1. In addition to this, they've got Magikarps, they've got Nidoran. They have the evolutions of each of these, so they got like Blastoise, Charizard, Venusaur. They've got Mewtwo and Mew. They've got tons of Pokemon. So you should go take a look and see what they have for you, because a good chance they have some of your favorites there. And they just look so good. They just look so good, don't they? Now, because these are artisanal and they're hand painted and all that stuff, they do cost more than your average keycap. Each one of these costs $40 normally, although I frequently see them on sale on Mozano's site for about $35. I think I've seen them down at $33. As a matter of fact, if you buy three, you get them for $33 each. So it's like 3 for $100, basically. And they do seem to have pretty frequent discounts on them there. So, but the idea with these, really, like usually, an artisan cap is like an accent cap, and you really only need one on a keyboard. You know, many people use it on the escape key. Sometimes people will do 3 together, you know, depending on the layout of the board. Maybe you have 3 over here on the right side on a 65% board or something like that, you know. Especially on an exploded 65% where those 3 sit kind of on their own. That looks really good. So 1 or 3 is probably pretty typical. I mean, you could go ham and you could get one for your entire top row, like 12 or more if you really wanted. But anyway, we've got 4 of them here, and that's what I'm going to be putting on the keyboard that we're going to take a look at right now. Okay, this is the keyboard that we're going to be putting them on. This is, as I said, the CIY Tester-68. It is a budget-oriented 68% keyboard kit designed for beginners, I suppose. And it comes in really cheap. It's regularly $45, frequently on sale for about $40. I've seen it as cheap as $37. And that's really cheap for what this board offers, which is, well, let's take a look. As you can see, very bare bones packaging. Not much going on at all. But that's okay. That's okay. Because it's what's inside that counts. So, weirdly, they call it the GK68, not the Tester-68, but maybe it's the CIY Tester GK68. I'm not quite sure. But got a lot of Chinese instructions. I think we do have English instructions in here, though. There we go. Warm prompt: do not pour any liquid into the keyboard. Fair. All right. Very good. Okay, so here we have the keyboard. It's in this little foam package here, and you might notice there's nothing else in here. There is no cable in here. There's a reason for that. I'll show you in a second. There's no keycap puller, there's no extra keycaps or switches or nothing. It is as bare bones as they come. But considering the price, that's not unreasonable, I would say. Not unreasonable. Okay. So, CIY Tester-68 is plastic for the price, of course. You would expect that. It's got a 68% layout, which means it's a basic 60% layout here. We are obviously lacking the numpad, the nav cluster, but we do get dedicated arrow keys in the bottom right here. We get 3 nav cluster keys here, so you could, as I was saying, put those 3 over there. That would look really good. Dedicated delete key up here. And that makes for a pretty nice functional layout while still preserving a nice, compact, and ergonomic footprint. This kit comes with a backplate, of course. It's metal, probably steel, but a white backplate. It comes with stabilizers. So we've got cherry style plate mount stabs here on all the keys that need them. The PCB is white and supports 5-pin switches there, as you can see, which is great. That makes it nice and flexible. And we have the nice CIY Tester-68 screened onto the PCB underneath. The case itself is pretty minimalistic. Got a little bit of an angle to it here, and it's going to be fixed at that angle because we don't have any flip out feet or anything, but that's okay. We've got little rubber feet to prevent slippage. Really no features around the edges. And on the back, what's this? There are no USB ports. There's no wired connection with this board, and that is precisely why it does not come with a cable, because you can't plug it in. What you can do, however, is install 2 AAA batteries. That's right, it does not have a built-in battery. You are supplying AAAs, and plug this little USB dongle into your PC for a wireless USB connection. What an interesting choice. I've never seen a board do this before. It's not Bluetooth, or maybe it is Bluetooth as well. I'm not actually sure, you know. We should check. It's possible that it offers Bluetooth as well, which would be kind of cool. And it does have a nice little spot for the receiver, which is great. I've used keyboards many times more expensive than this that do not come with a slot for the receiver. As I said, it takes, I believe, 2 AAAs in there. And we've also got a little on-off switch down here. Right down here. It does have, now this is worth noting, it has a dampening layer. It has a silicone dampening layer between the top plate and the PCB. You can see it right in there. That should help dampen the case and make it sound and feel more premium. And also, it's a tray mount design. It looks like it would be pretty darn easy to pull this thing apart and mod it if you wanted to, for instance, put in some case foam or some weights, those sorts of things. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiny little Phillips head screws. And I think those could be pretty easily removed and to disassemble the board. We are going to test that out, but not in this video. I'm going to test that out in a follow-up video that you guys will see very soon, because I do have plans for this board, which again, I'm going to hint at, but we will, I'll tell you more at the end of the video. But for now, we're going to pop some switches in here, and we are going to put on some keycaps, including, of course, our fun little Pokemon Artisans, and we're going to see how it looks and how it sounds stock. So without any modding, any foam, no tape mod, no, the stabilizers are just going to be dry because they do not come factory lubed, apparently. Again, for this price, for like $37 or so that you can find it for, I am not surprised, and I will not hold it against it. But yeah, so we're gonna put this together for switches. Just so you know, I've got over here these little guys. These are from Fecker. They are previous build before. I happen to have an extra bag of them kicking around. They are solid budget Holy Panda type clones. They are tactile switches. They are medium heavy, and they got a pretty solid bump to them and a nice thocky bottom out. So they should sound pretty decent in here. They're not premium switches per se, but they're pretty good, especially for the price. And for keycaps, alongside our beautiful resin caps here, I have got these guys here, which are a simple black on white XDA profile PBT keycap with these Japanese characters. I forget what they're called. Someone told me in the last video where I used an identical set, maybe kanji, I can't remember. But I think that'll look really cool and go gel really well with the Pokemon theme. Pokemon from Japan, of course. So I think that'll look really neat. Now the only thing is, as I mentioned, these are XDA profile, so they're a fair bit shorter than the SA profile keycaps that we've got here. So that might look a little goofy. We'll see. But for now, that's what I'm gonna do. I do have other plans though, and we will talk about those after. But for now, let's check out this board with the Fecker pink shade switches and these black on white PBT kanji caps here. And I'm gonna do that right now. Here it is. So this is the build board. I've got those Fecker switches on there. I've got these white on black PBT keycaps on here, which for what it's worth, also fairly budget oriented. And of course, we've got our beautiful Pokemon Artisan caps on here. And I think this looks really clean. Like, actually, I really like these keycaps on this board. Obviously, it's just white on white, very minimalistic. That's nice. But, and the Pokemon caps up there looking absolutely gorgeous. Look at them. I freaking love them. Now, I will concede that they do look maybe a tad out of place with this particular set of keycaps because, as I was saying earlier, these are SA profile keycaps, and the other caps I've put on here are XDA, which is a much lower profile. And so you end up with a situation where, yeah, okay, they stick out a little bit, you know. But that said, it's not uncommon to have Artisan keycaps that kind of stick out and, you know, make themselves known because, like, that's sort of the whole point, right? Like, these are here to look awesome. And it's certainly awesome they do look. I think they look really, really nice on the board. Now, as I was also describing earlier, you could put them over here, for example. You could replace the delete, page up, page down, and home keys with those 4 Artisan caps. But on this layout, I like the look of them up here in the escape 1, 2, 3 spots. So those caps, they go on really easy. They fit very nicely, and they look just so good. Having them up on the back there is nice too because you get that line of Pokeball designs from the back there, which I think looks really good. I think that looks really nice. One shortcoming, however, that I did not anticipate is this board does not have RGB, which again, at this price point, perhaps a fair concession, which means we're not going to get to check out the shine through on these caps, but I'm not sure how much shine through there actually would be anyway, taking a closer look at them, because of course, you know, they've got all that stuff underneath them, like the flock and the water and all that. So, truth be told, I don't think they need it at all. I think they look amazing as is. Maybe even better without shine through. But anyway, so we're not going to be testing that here right now. I did put AAA batteries in here. Takes two. And we will pop this out here. And we will put this back in here. And we'll pop this USB receiver in over here. And we will turn this thing on. So it does actually have 3 LEDs over here. And I think the green one indicates USB mode, I'm pretty sure. But let's give this thing a listen. So again, this is completely unmodded. No lube, no nothing. So I've got those Fecker Jade tactile switches in here. So it sounds a little bit hollow, but not bad at all. Way better than I would expect for something that's this price, especially when you consider that it doesn't have a built-in battery to add weight or anything like that, or density. What it does have though is that silicone dampening layer, which I think goes a long way here. Now, you might notice I'm staying away from the stabilized keys. Let's listen to the stabilized keys really quick here. Okay, that's not too bad. Got some rattle on the enter. Ooh. Left shift needs some help. And the space bar, well, yeah. So, I would suggest that if you're picking up this board, that you do take a few minutes to at least lube the stabilizers. It's really easy to do. You can use basic dielectric grease or synthetic grease from the hardware store. It'll even work. You don't have to pay for pricey stuff if you don't want. Or you can get some, dedicated keyboard lube if you'd like. But certainly lubing, clipping, and Band-Aid or pad modding, those stabs would go a long way to improving that sound. But that said, again, it's a $37 keyboard, so using a little elbow grease is kind of expected, having to get your hands slightly dirty to mod it into something amazing. So on that note, I kept teasing what my plan for this board is. I thought, wouldn't it be grand to take a $37 keyboard and turn it into something that sounds and looks way more expensive? So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be taking this thing apart in the next video. I'm going to be putting in some weights if I can. I'm going to be maybe putting in some foam. We'll see how that works. Maybe tape modding it, which involves putting tape on the back of the PCB, which can really improve the sound. I will certainly be clipping and lubing and Band-Aid modding the stabs. And overall, I'm just really going to try and improve the sound of this board to something that sounds way better. And that process is going to be really cheap. It's going to cost me a few dollars in materials. And I'm hoping that when I'm done, it's going to sound amazing. But that's not all. I have another plan for this board. Along with all that, sound and feel modding, we're going to make this thing look amazing. I'm going to turn this into the ultimate Pokemon keyboard. because I have a set of keycaps, the S.A. Vile Bloom set, which is a Pokemon-themed full set of keycaps. It is beautiful and colorful. It has this lovely gradient, has some Pokemon-themed novelties, and it's, best of all, an S.A. profile. So it's going to match the profile of the Artisan novelty caps here, and it's going to look chef's kiss, so good. I think it's going to look amazing. But that's not all. I also am going to sticker bomb the whole case with Pokemon stickers if they get here in time. They're on the way. I ordered them. If they don't show up in time, I have some, but maybe not enough to coat the case in stickers. But my hope is that those stickers will show up and I can just plaster the whole case, just sticker bomb the whole thing, and have a beautiful, unique looking, amazing, premium sounding Pokemon themed keyboard, one of a kind. That is my hope. So you don't want to miss that video. That should be my next one out. So make sure that you keep an eye out for that one. In the meantime, though, if you would like to check out these beautiful Pokemon Artisan resin keycaps from Mozano, you can do so at the link down in the video description. They are, I believe, on sale at the time of this recording, so you can save a few dollars on these beautiful little guys. Like I mentioned earlier, there are like dozens, I think, like maybe 30-ish, at least, different Pokemon available. So you can get your favorites. You can match the colors to your setup, whatever you like. And those links, again, are down in the video description. And if you'd like to check out the CIY Tester, this very inexpensive entry point type keyboard with the hot swap sockets, it doesn't need any soldering. You can find that also linked down below in the video description. And it's available, I think, right now on sale for $40 from Mozano. So definitely worth checking out if you're looking at getting into mechanical keyboards and you don't want to spend an arm and a leg. This kit could be a great way to get started, and you could pair it with some budget caps like these ones that I have here and some budget switches like the ones I put in here. You can easily build a really sharp, clean looking board for under $100. The only caveat, of course, being no USB connectivity, just wireless, but that's kind of neat in its own way. I've never seen a board do that before. It's kind of audacious, actually. And because it doesn't have an internal battery compartment, or battery rather, it's got the battery compartment with the externals, you can just swap out the rechargeables if it runs out and keep going. So you don't have to worry about plugging it in to charge it, right? So anyway, a really interesting entry-level board there, well worth checking out. And these Pokemon keycaps, again, are just so gorgeous and awesome, and I freaking love them. They are, I think, my favorite keycaps ever. Full stop, period. My favorite keycaps of all time so far. Really fun, really well made, great quality of the painting and the resin and all that stuff. So make sure you check out those links down in the video description and at the top of the comments, where I will pin them as well. And make sure that you tune in for the next video, where I'm going to take this thing and we're going to level it up. We're going to give it some rare candies and we're going to evolve it into its final form. I don't know, I'm running out of Pokemon analogies here. And of course, a huge thank you to Mozano for sponsoring this video, for sending over these amazing resin keycaps and the CIY Tester-68 board that we built on here today. Alright friends, thank you for joining me for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look very forward to having you back here next time. Bye for now.